Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. Today I'm talking about the dark psychology of ignoring a woman. So this one is a bit of a tricky situation because it's finding the right balance of playing it a bit cool, playing it a little bit hard to get, but also not doing so much of that you actually put off the woman that you're trying to attract. And, obviously, if you want to, because one of the best ways you can push a woman out of your life is to ignore her, right? Because if, let's say, for example, you're upset for some reason about the fact that she's not replying often enough to your messages, or she's not reciprocating in the way that you feel like she should be. But once she does start doing these things, once you can't. Essentially, what I'm trying to say here is that you shouldn't punish a woman for doing the things that you want her to do. So if she's messaging you and you've been wanting her to message you for a while and suddenly she's now got more time or whatever it may be, you shouldn't punish her by ignoring her, right? Because you're going to, I'm going to teach her a lesson, right? Because what you'll do is you'll just push her out of your life. Now, if that's your intention, then yeah, sure, you ignore her, you ghost her. If you don't want her in your life, I personally think it's a better idea to say that you don't want someone in your life. But if you are not that kind of person, if you don't like being that upfront, then yeah, sure, ghost her, ignore her, and then she'll leave, right? If she will only try so many times. She will only try so many times. Okay? So so you have to find this right balance of playing it cool but also not pushing her away, right? Because there is when you are replying less to a woman, when you're giving a lot of time before replies and things like that, that does have a positive effect on her emotions, does make her wonder about you. So let's say, for example, you go out on a night out, right, and you get a woman's number, right, and let's say this happened to a couple of other guys as well. Let's say like a couple of other guys got her number too on this night out. If you're the one that doesn't send her a message straight away, let's say you wait a few days to send her a message to say, hey, it's Joe, how you doing? We should go out sometime, something like that. If you wait a couple of days to do that, you're going to look way different than the other guys, because most unlikely these other guys who get her number are going to message her right away. Right? They're going to message her straight away. They might even message her still in the club or wherever it is that you met her out at. They may say something straight away. But because you're the one that's taking more time, because you're the one that took a few days to say something, then yeah, she's going to wonder more about you. She's going to sense that you're the one that's not needy, you're not desperate, you're not too bothered, right? You're not acting like you can't live without her even though you just messaged her. Because this is what a lot of guys do, right? They meet a woman out, they get her number, and they're already texting her straight away. And it's like, wow, why are you acting like you can't live without this woman when you've probably only been speaking to her for about 15 minutes? You're treating her like you can't possibly live without her, even though you've only known her for like 10 minutes, right? It's like, why? And women instinctively know that, like, why are you giving me so much attention when you don't even know me, right? You've only spoken to me for 10 minutes. You don't know what I'm like. I don't deserve this level of a devotion straight away. Right, so when she comes across a guy that essentially ignores her a little bit, plays it cool a little bit, right? Then she's going to have more of a positive reaction to that guy, because she can sense that, hey, you know what, this guy is treating me like a normal person. He's not treating me like he's obsessed with me straight away. He is kind of acting like a normal person who has normal emotions that are normally regulated, right? Right? He's someone who's strong and emotionally strong, right? And women are more drawn to men who are more emotionally strong, right? And not, it doesn't necessarily have to be physically strong. You don't have to have buff muscles, right? Most of the time, it's not about your looks; it's about your vibe. If you're strong, if you're more stoic, if you take your time, if you're at peace and you're okay, like you don't mind. You say, yeah, I'll call her in a couple of days. I'll message her in a couple of days. I'm not desperate. I'm not needy. I don't need to message her right away, because you know what? If she doesn't respond, that's fine, because there's other women I can meet. It doesn't bother me. Yeah, I think she's cute. Yeah, it'd be great to get to know her. Yeah, it'd be great maybe if one day we could be in a relationship, because I think she's so beautiful and I really like talking to her those 10 minutes that I spoke to her. But I'm not attached. It's okay, right? And that's kind of like the what you need to instill in yourself. when you start trying to date women, starting to meet out with them, starting to get their numbers, starting to interact with them so you can go on dates, you need to take your time and let it be, right? And I know that can be really difficult if you meet a woman that you're super, super attracted to, and perhaps you even had like fire chemistry. But what's really cool about that is if she has your number, you'll find these women that are really, really into you, they'll message you quite quickly, right? They even may message you before you message them, right? But when you do meet a woman that perhaps you need to message first, because perhaps maybe they're a little bit on the fence, or maybe they get loads of numbers off of guys because of the fact that they're really attractive, the fact that you're taking your time and you're not attached, you're going to stand out than all the other guys that may be in her DMs straight away, like desperate, needy guys. Okay, and when you're interacting, when you're messaging each other, when you're starting to set up that date so you can hang out and get to know each other better, it's always a good idea to take your time in responding, right? So like, let's say for example, okay, you get a message from her in the morning. You're like, okay, well I gotta go to work, so I'll message her after work because I gotta focus on my work today. So I'll message her. Let's say she messaged you at 8 in the morning and you finish work at 5. Yeah, I'll get home, I'll have some dinner, and I'll message her, when I'm before bed or something like that. Or maybe that she messages you at night time and you're like, well, I'm really tired, so I'll message her back, I'll reply to her in the morning. It's about that kind of thing. Because you don't want to be ignoring her like flat out. Because if you ignore her flat out, she will only, like I said, she will only try so many times. And if it's a woman you've only just met, she may only try the one time, like to message you. And if you ignore her, if you ghost her, you're going to push her out. You're going to push her out of your life. Like I said, that's the best way to get a woman to not want to be with you anymore, or to not be interested in you anymore, and to give up on you, is to ignore her completely and never respond to her messages, right? It's not a good idea to do that, because you shouldn't be, like I said, you shouldn't be punishing a woman for doing something that you want her to do. If you want her to message you, then don't punish her by ignoring her, because she's doing the thing that you want her to do. It's like when you're training an animal, or when you're training a child to do certain things, or when you're with your friends as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be like creatures, right? Like animals and small children. It doesn't necessarily have to be like that. It's a situation where you want to offer positive reinforcement rather than negative reinforcement. If you use negative reinforcement, then that person is going to think negatively towards you and behave negatively towards you. So right, if you let's say for example with like a dog, right, you'll give it negative reinforcement, so you're always shouting at it when it does the wrong thing. Instead, do positive things when they do the things that you want them to do. Like, that's why if they come to you when you call them, you give them a treat. And it's essentially the same kind of psychology there, the same kind of method that you got to use with the women that you're dating, and with anyone in your life. When someone, like let's say it's a family member or a friend, when they behave in the way you want them to behave, make a big deal about it. Be happy that they did that. Respond to them. Be nice to them. Give them what they want. Okay, because that's the way that you have to do that. It's like if you're trying to train a child to use the potty, you got to use positive reinforcement. Negative reinforcement, like, oh my god, I can't believe you wet the bed again. I can't believe you peed in your underwear again. But that's not gonna make that child do better. You have to use positive reinforcement. And you've got to use that kind of psychology with everyone. Whenever someone does the thing that you want them to do, give them positive reinforcement. If she messages you, respond. You don't have to respond right away, but respond and be like, hey, yeah, it's great to hear from you. When are you free to hang out? I'd really love to see you, and then arrange a date with them and meet up with them. Okay, so there's you've got to find this fine balance of playing a little bit hard to get so you don't come across as too needy and insecure, with balancing that with giving them enough attention that the connection stays, right? Because if you're just constantly ignoring a woman, then you're not going to get very far with her, because she will just eventually give up. And unless whatever you're trying to do is serving to hurt the other person, if you want to teach her a lesson, if you want her to feel pain, then yeah, you ignore her and ghost her. I honestly don't think that's a good way to do. It's a good thing to do. It's better to be honest with someone. Like, if you don't no longer like her, then just tell her that. Say, like, yeah, I'm no longer interested. It's not a good idea to punish a woman, especially if she's behaving in the ways that you actually want her to behave. Okay, so yeah, there is a dark psychology to ignoring a woman. A woman will respond better to you and be more attracted to you if you're less needy, if you're less desperate, right? That's the idea here. But if you ignore her all the time, like I said, there's only so many times she's going to try. There's only so many times she's going to want to make things happen with you. She will give up eventually if you keep on ignoring her. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.